Barack acknowledged also, there is sort of a second hat that I wear. Not sort of, it is very significant. In addition to Persephone, I work at BOA Social Finance. So you'll meet several of our colleagues here. And I'm not going to talk about BOAN very much, and as I look over at my boss, I'm wondering if he was expecting me to. But I think I'm just going to spend a few 5 minutes on Persephone, the Persephone story, because I think that was the sort of the intent to give, especially perhaps the young people in the room, a very visceral example. So here goes. And forgive me, I have some notes because I was nervous, so I made some notes. Okay. What a great opportunity to do this at the beginning of the Victoria Forum. I'm excited about where this is going, all the energy and the intellect and the fun that the forum is going to bring, and maybe a little bit of chaos. I think if Stephen had anything to do with it. Okay, Brian Smith, one of the founders. You'll also find hiding in the back my partner Melissa, who is also one of the founders, although she probably is chagrined that I even name it. She is also the landscaper. Actually, let me take a quick poll. How many of you have been, how many of you have had Persephone before tonight, like know the company? Oh, not as many as I thought. Okay, how many of you have been to our farm in Gibsons? Oh, thanks. More than people have had to drink. How many of you have been to our bowling alley in Powell River? I got one in the back. I knew Cordell had been there, so thank you for that. We've only owned the bowling alley for a couple of years, so I'll let you off the hook. And there's still lots of time this summer. Come visit Gibsons and Powell River. The fact is we're sort of just over 13 years old, and it's been a journey. We've had a lot of adversity, and there's a lot of dynamism about Persephone. And I won't be able to, I don't think, get into all of it. So I made notes about what I think the highlights ought to be. We have a chicken orchard, and it is an example of regenerative agriculture. The chickens get to hang out in the apple orchard. The apples grow with wonderful fertility. We don't add any extra fertility to it. And the apples make the cider that some of you may be tasting. And then we take the chicken poop and everything else that is waste, and we compost it, and that becomes part of the natural soil cycle too. So that's an example of where we're really trying to embrace regenerative agriculture. Right from the beginning, we've been part owned by a nonprofit organization that supports people with developmental disabilities. And we've had a partner and employed many people with developmental disabilities over the years in the brewery, in the tasting room, in the farm, on the farm. So that's another sort of dynamic. We've been through 5 rounds of raising capital. I was sort of reflecting on my notes, and my notes didn't actually talk about impact investing, so I threw this one in the last minute. 3 of those rounds used crowdfunding. So as a result, we have more than 600 shareholders of Persephone. And it's an interesting dynamic to have your community own the business. And shout out to Christy for reminding me how important the love is that comes with a community. I'll touch on that in more ways than one, but each time we've faced adversity, those shareholders have been in it for far more than just the capital, the financial capital. Okay, we could talk about things like our certifications, which include we're thrice certified B Corp, twice certified Bee Friendly Farm, twice Salmon Safe certified. And while we're not certified as a living wage business, we try really hard to embrace those same values in our HR management policy. We could talk about the beer, cider, honeycomb hard seltzer, or the non-alcoholic offerings, iced tea and lemonade. But suffice it to say, they've won awards locally, provincially, nationally, and internationally. So I'm lucky. I think our very first hire was Anders McKinnon. He is our brewmaster. and has been with us as a pillar right from the beginning. We have a pretty remarkable team of managers that run the operation. I should really own up. I do not run the operation. I'm a founder, and I have a day job that is important to me, and so I try and support at sort of a strategy level, but operations, the fact is we have an amazing woman. Her name is Sarah Parsley, who is our COO, and she holds virtually everything together. We could talk about other little things like the fact that we have a bookstore upstairs from our tasting room called Upstart Upstairs. Some of you will know Ian Gill, formerly of EcoTrust, and his partner started Upstart in Crow, which is on Granville Island. And it is a nonprofit organization that owns the bookstores. And so all profits go to funding libraries in the northern coast, in particular Indigenous communities that are literary deserts. So that's the nonprofit focus. And so it's a neat, what they also do great is a remarkable job of curation. So some of them are banned books, lots of Indigenous authors, lots of local authors, and so on. Worth coming to the coast just to see the bookstore. We could talk about in more depth. How are we doing on time, Brock? Are we pushed it out? Okay, sweet. Yeah, I feel like maybe everybody just needs to sit down and cross your legs. We could talk about the layers of adversity that we've faced, and I could argue that starting impact businesses are all going to face some of this adversity. Started right year 2 when the Agricultural Land Commission said, you have to leave. This was after we built the brewery, after we planted 6 acres of hops. They said it doesn't meet the current ALR regulations. So I spent sort of a year and a half in this city lobbying both the Agricultural Land Commission and the Minister of Agriculture. Thank goodness, I'll throw out a prop to Lana Popham, came in as the Minister of Ag and changed those regs for us, and that has led to at least, I think, 10, maybe more, farm-based breweries now in British Columbia that wouldn't have otherwise been able to build their business and their community. We faced a pandemic. I don't know if anybody knows about it, but it was rough. And an interesting conversion we did was we turned our vehicles, both our sales reps' cars and our delivery trucks, into delivering groceries to isolated seniors. So we pivoted hard at that time to become even more impactful, and it was our most profitable year ever. So I say that, like, this is, I think, the message I maybe hope that everybody will get out of this next week, is pivoting and moving into impact is good for us in all. And then a final piece of adversity that we could talk and all ad nauseum about is that I spent our 10th anniversary, which was a great celebration on the farm, in GF Strong at the rehab center after I had crashed my bicycle and sustained a spinal cord injury that has left me paraplegic from sort of the chest down. So you can imagine what the organization went through, having its CEO and founder hurt, grieving the loss of my legs, the loss of my ability to get on a tractor, the loss of my presence on the farm, and so on and so forth. And it's been remarkable. And I'll swing this back to the love has been amazing. Not just from our community, but from our staff team and from our shareholders saying, we're there, let's rebuild this together, let's figure out what the next chapter looks like. Pretty remarkable response to adversity. Right? Okay, but I'm not going to talk about any of those things. What I wanted to touch on actually was the current circumstance for breweries, which is a very challenging economic and consumer climate. Tariffs, I won't go into any depth on that, but it matters when most of our beer goes out the door in aluminum. 3+ years of inflation have guided consumer decisions toward value and away from premium. So all craft is struggling. I know of 25 breweries that closed last year. And young people are making different consumer choices. They have weed as an option, and there's been lots of health reports that are damning of the alcohol industry. So we've had a tough go of it. So this is my call to action, if you will. We, and when I say we, I mean Persephone and our brothers and sisters in craft brewing, would love your ongoing support. We have the four products that are here, 3 beers and the hard seltzer are listed in government stores where you can find them, and if you can't find them, they will bring them in for you. And looking ahead, next year we're going to announce a significant recapitalization strategy that will double down on our impact thesis, and hopefully, if it all goes well, anybody who's raised money knows that you can't count that money until it's in the bank, but if all goes well, it'll put us on good footing to keep growing and keep having the impact that we've had. And I'm going to wrap it up there, but just want to say again, thank you to the organizers, thank you to our hosts, thanks for giving me a few minutes to share with you, and I'm looking for my beer to say cheers.